DJI is about to release the Mic 3. They give us a little sneak preview in their announcement video, and there's a bunch of leaks online that give us a good idea of the final look as well as the specifications as well. So in this video, I kind of wanted to answer the question of which microphone by DJI should you actually buy? Should you buy the DJI Mic 2s, which are the current high-end version of the microphone? Or should you be looking at the Mic Mini? And by the end of this video, I'll give you my honest take as to which one I think makes the most sense depending on how you're using them. First of all, it's important to give you a full disclosure before I get into this. DJI did send me out this set of DJI Mic Minis. They did not send me the Mic 2s. And actually prior to them sending me out this set, I actually had bought my own DJI Mic Mini as a one-off microphone with the receiver, which is actually what I'm using to record on right now. So this isn't sponsored. These are just my own thoughts after having used them. So let's go all the way back to the first microphones that DJI started making. It was pretty revolutionary with the size that they came out with. At that time, I think a lot of us were using like the bigger mic packs for professional audio. So it was a bit of a game changer. There were other things around, but the DJI Mic was a whole new insight as to how DJI might be looking at a new direction they might be moving in with their camera. And honestly, I thought that they were absolutely incredible until the Mic 2s came out. And that ended up being quite a big upgrade for me. The 32 float recording that went right into the device itself. And then the second at the top here, you could input a lav mic if you wanted to hide this thing. For me, having the ability to record on board to the device was actually huge. It was a huge peace of mind, especially when I was filming for clients and stuff like that, as it just works as a standalone recorder and it also records like a secondary track to the device itself. So if for some reason I made a mistake by plugging in my cable into my camera, which sometimes happens, you don't plug it in all of the way, I was able to have peace of mind knowing that I still pressed the record button on the device itself and had a separate track on the device. And of course it has a USB-C port so that you can plug it into your computer and then pull that track off individually. Another reason I bought these was because at the time it was the only microphone that would pair directly to the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Action 5 Pro. This was prior to the Mic Minis being launched. So that was a huge one for me. Prior to that, with the Mic 1s, you had to plug the transmitter or the receiver into the Pocket 3 itself, which just made it a lot bigger and a lot less practical. So the fact that these would directly pair using DJI Osmo audio was also very huge. So then of course, the Mic Minis came out, which are essentially half the size of the Mic 2, which was already incredibly small at the time. And straight away, I was super interested for this reason, mostly of course because of the size, which is where I would say like the biggest downside of the Mic 2 was the fact that it's a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger, which once again is absurd considering prior to this we were using big mic pack. But this thing definitely sags when you put it on your shirt. And I have the Mic Mini attached to me right now, and it does, if I really move forward, it creates a bit of a sag, but if you're stood upright, it doesn't really pull on the shirt too much. Hey, I have one of those requests again. All the YouTubers are doing it, but it's for a good reason. If you want to help support me and help me grow this channel, which I will really appreciate, you can do so by leaving a comment down below and then also subscribing. And then if you decide to buy any of these products, if you use my affiliate links, that also helps me out a little bit too. Thanks so much for your support. Let's get back into it. So then essentially, having the Mic Mini paired with the Osmo Pocket 3, it makes an insanely compact setup. The other good thing I found about the Mic Minis is the charging case. The combo gives you a much smaller case and gives you about 18 extra hours of battery life on top of the 10 hours that it already gets in itself. And on top of that, everything just fits inside the case. So I've shown this before. If you have the wind muffs attached to it, or the dead cat, whatever you want to call it, attached to it, the device or the box actually closes and the microphones charge with everything inside of it. It also holds the cable as well, so if you're going to plug it into a mirrorless camera or something like that, you can keep everything that you need in this little box and then throw this into a backpack. It also, of course, comes with a little separate accessory bag here that is, I don't know, I really like it. I actually prefer it to that of the Mic 2s. but it's not necessary to carry everything in this bag. You can just take everything in this, which is really nice. If I compare that to the Mic 2s, then essentially you can't keep the dead cats attached to it and close the lid of this. You also can't keep the cable. The one positive is that it does come with a lightning port for your iPhone, but of course no one's really using that anymore with the upgraded phones to USB-C. So this is a bigger case than the Mic Mini, and you need to bring the actual case that it comes inside as well with all the accessories if you plan on plugging this into your camera or using it in a windy condition. And this is the case that it comes with for the Mic 2. So it's a bit different, a bit more premium in a way, but it has it has bulk and structure to it, whereas this thing is just flat, which actually makes it way better if you're going to chuck it into a backpack. It just fits into more spaces easier. It takes up less space. Whereas once you have this thing with your wind muffs and you have your cable in there and you have the case itself in here, it's still extremely compact, but it takes up this it's quite a bulky brick, whereas this thing can squash down way smaller. Hello, editor Ryan here. I realized throughout this whole video I didn't really speak much about the receivers. There's a bit of a difference between the two. In the Mic 2, which is down below, it has the screen of course, and then you can also see if it's on-board recording. I'm pretty sure you can trigger it from that as well. You can also see the battery life of your microphones and all of that. There's a lot more data and settings that you can set up through the touch screen. And then on the top, you have the receiver for the Mic Minis. That's obviously a lot more basic. You basically have two indicator lights on the top that tell you whenever the microphone is paired, which one is paired to, and then also whenever it's linking and stuff like that. You have some extra ports on the side here with the Mic 2 below. You have the headphone jack for monitoring. You don't get that with the Mic Mini. You also have these gain controls, which is prevalent on both. And then the hot shoe is built into both of them. However, on the Mic Mini, it's more of a clip style, and on the Mic 2, it's not removable. There's a power button on both, and then also there is the linking button on the Mic Mini, which you do all the linking with the Mic 2 receiver here. Also on the back of both of these, you have options to put the USB-C receiver on it. I have the USB-C receiver on the Mic Mini ready. And then you also have a USB-C port for charging and updating the device itself. So basically that's another reason to get the Mic 2s. If you're looking for something a little bit more professional, you can at least monitor your audio coming through the receiver with the Mic 2. You obviously can do the same thing with the Mic Mini if you put your headphones in the headphone jack of your camera, something worth noting. So what I've seen in leaks, the Mic 3 looks like it's going to follow the same Mic Mini style, and it's going to have the same case design on both fronts. So it's going to have a case like this, and then it's also going to have a charging case like this. So from what I've seen, the Mic 3s are the best of both worlds. They seem to have the size and form factor similar to that of the Mic Minis, but with obviously a lot more features that are closer to that of the Mic 2s. So you're going to be looking at something a little bit smaller. I'm not sure if they're going to be exactly this size. They'll probably be somewhere in between. But one of the interesting things in terms of the form factor is that it looks like the clip on the Mic 3 is going to be removable, so the whole clip itself, and the device will be magnetic. So you'll be able to essentially remove a lot more of this bulk of this clip and just have it magnetically clipping onto stuff, and then when you need to physically clip it onto a piece of clothing, you can add that clip to it. That is one of the slight downsides of these two microphones, is the fact that almost half of the width of this Mic Mini comes from its clip and its magnet, and kind of the same with this one. I find myself often using the magnets on my shirt more than I do using the actual physical clip, so I think it makes sense to remove that clip. But from what I've seen, the Mic 3s have also removed the microphone jack to plug in a lav mic, which could be a big problem if you're doing some professional audio and you don't want the microphone to be visible. Of course, the Mic 3 is going to be smaller than the Mic 2, so there's less to be visible in the shot. But even still, in a situation like this, if you're doing a professional recording or doing a professional interview, perhaps you don't want to have this visible. So I'm not really sure how they're going to get around that per se. Of course, you have these pins, the contact points on the bottom for charging, and I wonder if the Mic 3s are going to have a data connection where you can plug an adapter onto it and then perhaps plug a mic into that. Which leads me to another point as well. The Mic Minis don't have onboard recording. Mic 2s of course do, but the DJI Mic 3 doesn't look like it has a USB-C port attached to it. So that's how you get the files off of this. But I'm wondering if it does have onboard recording, how we're gonna get those files off of the camera. Part of me thinks that there might be some sort of a Bluetooth transfer system, or like I said before, an adapter that connects to some of these pins that also connects to USB-C, which they have shown in some of the what's in the box photos. Whether that adds data transfer or not, I don't know. Maybe it's just power, but we'll be yet to find that out. But it does look like with the Mic 3's onboard recording or on-device recording is still there. So it looks like despite the size difference of the Mic 3, the specs are going to be probably around the same as the Mic 2 or maybe even better. And honestly, when it comes to audio quality, I have to say both of these microphones have really great audio quality. The Mic Mini has added noise cancellation that's processed within the device, which works really well, and there's 2 levels of that you can set on the app. And the Mic 2 doesn't have that active noise cancellation as of right now, so I'm sure Mic 3 will add that to it. And then another big one is 4-channel recording. It looks like this is going to be one of the headline features, so you should be able to connect up to 4 transmitters to 1 receiver, which could be massive for interviews. Perhaps you have more than 2 people that you're interviewing. It's always handy to have extra microphones around capturing ambient audio. Sometimes even if you're having an interview between 2 people, you want their microphones on and then you want another nearby as a third, just in case. So that would be really huge. I'm still not sure exactly how DJI will handle the output, since when you're recording to regular cameras, it normally splits the track into a left and right channel. But I imagine you could probably pull those files individually in post, which means that there's probably going to be a way of removing files from the device itself that's not maybe directly through USB-C. So in short, the Mic 3 looks like the size of the Mini, but with most of the pro features of the Mic 2, plus 4-channel recording. Okay, so let's get back to the original question. Should you wait for the Mic 3 or buy the Mic 2 or even the Mic Mini right now? So I'd say if you're doing personal projects, such as casual YouTube or anything low risk, the Mic Mini is the way forward. It's compact, it's convenient, it's much cheaper and easy to use with noise cancellation built in. I really think that these are just the best value for money when it comes to a DJI mic. I think if you need something more professional and reliable, the Mic 2 is still a fantastic workhorse. The backup recording on the device itself can save you greatly if something goes wrong. It certainly has with me for a while. And the lav mic gives you input and flexibility, although I have heard rumors that some people have had issues with the lav mic, with using their own lav mic. DJI does sell one, so that's worth bearing in mind. The only real downside is size and weight of the Mic 2. This thing, of course, is a lot heavier. So then we're gonna have the option of the Mic 3. I think if you want the most compact pro system and you're okay with losing the lav mic, then it could be very compelling. 4-channel recording especially opens up a lot of possibilities as well. At the end of the day, all of these are really incredible mics. It just depends on what type of work you're doing and also what sort of a budget you're on. I really don't think you can go wrong. Having the new Mic 3 does definitely not make the Mic 2 obsolete, in my opinion, or the Mic Mini. I think they all have their own little segments of the market. I really love this Mic Mini. I'm going to be using it for a long time. However, if there are moments where I'm recording something like some music or I'm recording something a little bit critical, sometimes I'll just bring along one of these on its own that's fully charged and just use it as a standalone recorder. Anyway, what do you guys think? Will you be holding out for the Mic 3? Do you know anything that I don't know about the new Mic 3? In a few days, we're gonna find out, so I'm sure there will be a few little corrections in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.